Legendary Democratic strategist James Carville recently told the progressive branch of his party, hey, maybe you go your way and we go ours. First of all, Jimmy, thank you for joining us. Happy Easter in advance. Rebirth and renewal resonates as much or more than ever. What did I get wrong?
Well, I don't think you got much wrong, but Citizens United was was a Republican plan. It was all decided by Republican judges. So let's don't lay that on both sides.
Right.
That's clearly a Republican initiative. What I would quarrel with is not any facts, but what's happening to this guy in El Salvador. The trial judge, the appellate judge, 9 Supreme Court justices back to the trial court said, let him go. They are ignoring a court order. Well, if you do that, we become China. Xi doesn't care what the Chinese courts say. So I do think this is an elevated issue, because if we don't go and get this innocent person out, who every judge that has looked at this says, get this guy back home, we're sacrificing what we got. But I totally agree. The effect of money in politics is sickening. And of course, Citizens United was a totally Republican initiative. But yeah, the Democrats, if you get a designated hitter, we're going to use the designated hitter. But I cannot argue with the fact that money holds way too much sway in politics today.
Well, money holds sway in politics because it holds sway everywhere, because we have allowed a very small group of corporate elite to dictate everything that happens in this country. Your party, you know, when it was Bill Clinton and my father nominating him, was he going to run against Bill or not? They were both about the same kinds of things, which were middle-class families. Now, even when it's Bernie and AOC, they seem more like fringe radical types than making the case that I made up at the top.
Let me make a point about Bernie and AOC. But Bernie ran for president twice. He's lost twice. AOC, in her kind, and this guy, David Hall, they want to run against other Democrats.
Yeah.
They don't run against Republicans. Well, when you beat a Republican, come back and see me, and I will be impressed. But if you're spending all your time, and I think that's the real problem. And I mean, it's fine. They draw big crowds. They draw everything. That's great. But all they want to do, and all this guy Hogg wants to do, is they want to beat, like Democrats are not the problem right now. We're not holding an innocent person in El Salvador in jail. We're not starting a trade, an ill-thought-out, idiotic trade war. And yet they're spending all their time, a lot of their time, I'll be fair to Bernie and AC, they do attack Trump, but they never run against Republicans. And when Bernie ran twice as a Democrat, he lost, and he lost by a lot. So maybe the Democratic Party is trying to tell you something. You lose twice, there's probably a message in there. I don't know.
Well, listen, I have no problem with more parties. I think that coalitions will probably be a more effective structure than what we have right now, because you have a binary battle to the bottom. Which side is worse? That's what these parties spend all their time on.
Well, maybe, as I said, maybe they need to split off from the Democratic Party and call themselves the socialist, I don't know, urbanist, central city.
But you know why they're doing it. They looked at MAGA, and they did what we see all the time when you don't have better minds and better ideas. This is why you were so transcendent in politics, is that, and I always find it so cheap when people say, oh, Jim Carville, oh yeah, it's the economy, stupid. No, that wasn't your genius. Your genius was, I'm not going to be what beats me. What you see with Bernie and AOC right now is MAGA playbook. MAGA playbook, make the masses angry. Dave Hogg, that's MAGA playbook. Go after your own and have a purity test. But what beats you, if you become that, you're not going to beat it.
Right. Well, I don't think that most of the Democrats are that. And maybe we need to have a schism. Maybe we can form a governing coalition. You know, this happens every time in parliamentary things, where you come in, you say, okay, you want to be part of our coalition. But when they spend all their time running against us, by the way, why don't somebody sue David Hogg? He's an officer of the Democratic National Committee. He is the vice chairman of the Democratic National Committee, and he's running against other Democrats. I would like to know, and you went to law school, does he have a fiduciary duty toward Democrats? If you work for NewsNation, you can't promote CNN. That's because you work for somebody else. You have a fiduciary duty to your employer, which anybody can understand. He's being paid to run against other Democrats. I think it's an outrage. I don't know if I have standing, but I might give the DNC $10 and sue him. He's a contemptible little twerp, if you ask me.
Sue his ass, Jim. I'll have you on the show to talk about it.
Yeah, I might. I don't know if I have standing, but somebody can standing.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.